Hey guys, welcome to a special episode of Unless. It's going to be a kind of a mini episode where you can see all of our faces. So hi, nice to meet you. We're going to meet our host real quick. So my name is Riley. We've got Caitlin, Brendan, Kara, and Ella. Today we're going to be talking about COVID-19 and going back to school because we're going back to school soon. And let's just get into it. So me, Caitlin, and Karen all go to Shaler Area High School. Kara and I are going to be juniors in the fall, and Caitlin's going to be a senior.
Woo.
Ella, where do you go to school?
I go to school at University of Pittsburgh.
I go to Montour High School. I'm a senior here.
So I know what each school is doing for COVID-19 is different, like according to the area, according to the school. So for Shaler, what are we doing?
So we were going to start 2 weeks before we are. And so they delayed the start by 2 weeks. And now we're doing the first 4 weeks fully virtual, which honestly, that's what we did back in spring when everything kind of fell apart. So we kind of know how to do it. Plus, we've all had iPads and stuff and like virtual classrooms set up for years. So I'm personally not too worried about it because it's not that much of a learning curve on the students' part. I'm more worried for the teachers because they have to fully adjust their curriculum and try to change everything, and that's kind of going to take a while. So that's what I'm most worried about with our new format. So, Brendan, if you want to share what Montour has done.
So Montour gave us being students and families, 3 options for going back to school. That was go back as normal, but with all the guideline restrictions, everything, masks, all that. Remote learning. So still, live remote learning was how they worded it, I think. And so you're being live streamed into the classroom, or complete cyber. That's technically not through Montour, I think. I don't know the entire specifics of it, but that's basically what it was. But then they announced, then they delayed the start a week. We were supposed to start the 25th. Now we're starting September 1st. But they also switched us to, for the first 4 weeks, hybrid learning. So we're working on an A-B schedule, splitting the alphabet, like A to M, and then N, or the other half of M to Z, the last names. And so first half will go to school on A days, the other half will go on B days. And if you're in the group that's not at school, you're doing remote learning. So it's a little complicated, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that A-B split is how we're doing it, starting in, I guess, October, November. So after we're done with the 4 weeks online, we're going to do the hybrid split. And I signed up to do the hybrid split, but only, like, we also had the option to either do online school or to do the hybrid split. And my family had decided, like, we all opted for the hybrid, just because it's hard to learn all online. And knowing for a fact that some of my classes are going to be from teachers from Shaler, like, I trust them to do, like, the best that they can, but it's really difficult when you haven't ever taught online. So I'm also pretty worried for the teachers.
I also chose for Montour, like, going back as normal, not because, like, COVID doesn't exist or anything. Like, I'm a little worried just because of, like, seeing stories of what it can do, not what it's guaranteed to do, but what it could potentially do. But also I did not, this is nothing towards the teachers or anything at Montour. I didn't learn a thing when we went online. it was so hard. I can't really learn that way. So it's going to be tough. I'm going to work my way through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know a big thing was that we were kind of rushed into it. It was March 13th, and it was like 2:00. We leave school at 2:25, and they were like, hey, we are not taking 2 weeks off. That's a lie. Everyone, like, there were rumors going around that we were taking 2 weeks off, and everyone was like, no, that's not happening. And then 10 minutes later, they were like, yeah, see you in 2 weeks, go get your stuff. So it kind of was super rushed, and we had no warning. And I think the teachers had about a week's notice that we were going to be going back and doing virtual.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of the actual, like, educational side of that kind of suffered because of it. So
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I know for me, my parents kind of did the decision for themselves. It wasn't up to me that I had to go back to school no matter what happened, even before, whenever we had the 3 options. It was really difficult for me because I did struggle immensely online learning. I did not learn anything. Math was very hard. It was very easy to cheat, and that's what I resorted to doing. And it was just, I didn't really learn anything, and I was expressing this to them. I remember online choir was my hardest class, and that's like insane to think about, but we had to do these like online drills where we had to tap the beats of song, and I'm not that good at reading music. I'm not a musician, really. I just am in choir, and it was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And my parents saw me breaking down over online choir, and they're like, yeah, we're going to send you back to school.
We've been doing not mostly, all online classes, and we're going to be doing that till mid-September. Originally, it was just going to be online for like the first week that we're there, and then everyone goes back, but then we had a new spike in cases, and they decided, no, let's wait until mid-September. So right now all my classes are online. It's tough to be sitting in a Zoom room, I guess, for like 4 hours straight. It really wears on you. But I think things are looking up and for returning. And also, it might be easier in college because you've got a lot of studying on your own time to do, which isn't that much change from, your regular experience. You can still read books and take notes. It's just the lectures and the recitations that being online, it takes some getting used to.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have to wear like masks around campus?
Yeah, doesn't stop some people from not doing that or wearing their mask incorrectly, but the administration's been pretty good at suspending people who don't and people who are holding parties of all things, which makes me feel a lot safer. Not that I go out a ton anyway, but it's good to see that they're doing something.
Oh yeah, I'm really glad about that. I was gonna say, how strict are they about that? It's really good that they do that. I know at Shaler, it's almost definitely gonna be like if a teacher sees anybody with their masks like worn incorrectly, or if somebody not wearing masks, it's gonna be like, nope, either we're giving you one or you're gonna have to put one on. I'm sure they'll be strict about that. And if they're not, I will. Because I'm worried. There are some kids at Shaler that that just get sick really easily. There are kids that live with their grandparents. There are kids who have autoimmune disorders. And it's like, I don't want anybody to get sick. And if we have to go back, like there will be some kids who do online school the entire year. And it's like, yeah, great, good for them. But I know a lot of kids are going back to do hybrid because you have to balance like what's safest for everybody and also what's the best way to get your education.
We still had band camp. It was like extremely changed. Normally Montour, we have a week of pre-camp, and then on Sunday we leave and we go to, usually it's Slippery Rock. I had that this year. We had 2 weeks of 9 to 1. So time was really cut down, and like marching band for us, we aren't going to away games. I don't know what's going to happen with us even playing in the stadium, because there's talks of we won't even be able to be in the stadium during the game because the band puts the number of people in the stadium over 250. So we can't even this may change, but I'm a little worried about that because it's my senior year and I love the band and I'm super involved, but it really sucks to have to see someone I love like this desecrated in a way. All these traditions lost and destroyed because if I've been thinking, if I could go back to last year and play the show one more time and appreciate it as wow, this is the last normal show I'm going to play in high school, I would give anything to do that because it's different. And I love the staff. They're all great and they're doing everything they can to make it the best it can be for us. We weren't even sure if we were going to have a season other than those 2 weeks of camp. So just thankful to have something.
It's really necessary that you don't go and hang out with a bunch of people. And I'm a big advocate of quarantine yourself, stay safe, that kind of stuff. Because if everybody wore masks and if everybody kind of social distanced, this would be gone in about 2 months. But people don't do that. And I don't know. I miss my friends. I miss having regular school. But I'm so stuck between what's necessary and what I want.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. That's why I'm at my house right now instead of in my dorm, because even within the floors, the first couple weeks you're there, you're not allowed to go to different floors. It's still very socially isolated or socially distanced when you can't just be alone in your room. And I found myself man, I really miss human contact. And I'm lucky enough to be able to go home whenever I want and just crash here. But it does really wear on you, not having anyone to talk to, not having close connections with the people who you're around most of the time with yet, which I've discovered as a freshman. Yeah, it's the social aspect that really is wow.
Mm-hmm. Even in the age of social media and it being you can reach anybody at any time, I don't reach out to enough people, and a lot of that's on me. Mm-hmm. The fact that I there are friends that I haven't texted since the beginning of this because I am not a good texter. I'm not interesting in conversations over text, but talking to somebody on FaceTime or best case is in real life, and it's not able to happen. And also throughout the entire summer, it's been the fact that everybody's on different schedules and everybody's got a lot of different things going on. This has been one of the weirdest summers because nothing's normal. So it just being that I've reached out to a lot of people and I've been FaceTiming a lot with Kate and with my friends and talking to them, but it going back to school is gonna be weird seeing people because I'm oh, I see you on this Zoom call in my class, but I haven't seen you in 6 months, and we haven't talked.
With that, we've all kind of been in like a weird summer mode for a lot longer than we usually are. And also with everything that's been happening, like politically, everyone has had a lot of character development over this break and like really voiced their opinions really loudly. And I think it's going to be weird going back. But everyone is just really vocal now, and it's going to be kind of weird because everyone's different. And I feel like a lot of people who were friends or like were dating at the start of this aren't anymore. So it's going to be kind of weird to see how that all plays out. Even though it's all mostly like high school drama, it's still going to be really weird.
I just wanted to say on the topic of like breakups and stuff, I've noticed like a lot of like, I guess like influencers or celebrities, like all of my celebrity feed is just like this couple broke up or this couple just had a baby. I feel like every single celebrity is pregnant now, and it's so wild. Like it's so wild, and I feel like I was going through Instagram the other day and I just see like an article from like E! News, and it's like 40 plus celebrity couples have broken up over quarantine. I'm like, that's crazy that this is not only doing it to like us, but like everyone too. I don't know. It's just like, it's like showing that like, I don't know, sometimes you need breaks from people. I don't know, like you can't just like be together all the time.
So kind of on the topic of what Kate said, during quarantine, people have had a lot of time to like think about themselves, assess themselves. With the Black Lives Matter movement, it was assess your privilege and think about the people around you, think about the area you're in, think about basically your entire life. What have you been up to? Let's see here. I guess the start of COVID-19, it was where are your priorities at? What are you willing to do to keep people safe? And now that we're going back to school, it's what are we going to do? What are you going to do as a student? What's the best case scenario?
And a little side note on that, we're going to be planning to make a like memories story post on Instagram of all of your school resources, what they can do for you, and how to get in contact with them. So we will have a link to our Instagram in the description.
It'll be the Shaler Instagram specifically.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of flaws in the school system, and going into online school is both going to get rid of some of those flaws and also create more. So we've kind of been over what that is.
I think another thing with online is we're going to have a dress code to be in our rooms. Yes, I know, it's insane. My cat's like, what the heck?
She got it.
We're going to have a dress code, and I don't understand how they're going to enforce that. Like, I feel like a lot of things, it's hard to enforce rules when we're all sitting in our bedrooms on laptops and iPads.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't understand. It's like, I can look nice from the waist up, but I have sweatpants on. Like, they don't need to know that. And honestly, I just don't understand how they're going to enforce a lot of things, too.
I was going to say, I definitely do that already in my online classes. Like, I'll put on a sweater, but, like, I'm also wearing, like, my pajama pants or, like, short shorts that, like, no one in the class wants to see. Yeah, I'm a little scandalous. It's all about what they do see.
I'm not like that. I need to be like, for when we were doing online earlier in the year, every day I was waking up, putting on jeans. I'm wearing jeans now. Sometimes they're comfortable. Other times it's just like, well, this is what I would wear to school. So it makes me like, it gets me in that productive mindset, you know? So it's like, dress for success, dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
Guys, I need you to keep in mind, it's 10 a.m. and we're recording this, so this is a different us that you're seeing. We usually record at like 2 p.m. when we have had time to eat and to get stuff done during the day, most of us woke up and immediately started recording, like Ella. So the side of us you're seeing is both I feel comfortable right now and I'm having a good time, and you finally see my face. Nice to see y'all. Some of y'all know me. But some of this is like, we're tired. So don't worry. We'll be fine. So on that note, a little check-in for everybody. How are you guys feeling? I want you to name one thing that you're excited for during the school year, and also one thing that you are most nervous about. Personally, I know we've like stated, like, I'm nervous for the teachers. I'm nervous for kids who like will easily contract COVID, but for yourselves. So we'll go in a little order. Ella, why don't you want to start us off?
Let's see. Personally, I'm excited to get more in person for the courses that I'm taking in theater that don't really work as well over Zoom. I'm nervous about being able to make new friends and having that social system around me even when I'm not here at home. I know, making new friends is always hard for freshmen, but with everything that's going on, like, that just makes it 10 times harder.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kara, do you want to go next?
I guess I'm excited to see people I haven't seen in a long time. I feel like everyone is, but there's just some people that, like, I wasn't close to outside of school. It was more, they were just school friends, but I haven't seen them in so long. I'm kind of excited to meet up with them. And I'm nervous about, I would say personally, like, getting my work done, because whenever I'm at home, it's so easy to not do work, especially whenever I'm just like sitting at home in front of my laptop that's like begging me to like watch a movie or something. I can't focus. I need to like watch a movie. And I guess I'm worried about like just turning in all my work on time and like trying not to procrastinate, because I do that a lot. During the remote learning, I was doing my assignments at 10 before, so I could turn them in by midnight.
Yeah, perfectly valid. Kate?
This might sound kind of stupid, but I am excited that my lunches can be whatever I want from home. I don't have to deal with like school lunches or be like, oh, this has to be something that can sit in my locker for hours, which sounds like a ridiculous thing to be excited for, but like, it's my senior year. We're eating good. And then I am most nervous about the homework situation. I don't know if we're going to have homework like usual, or if classes will be like, oh, just finish what we did during the day. Because if we have homework like normal, that means I'm going to be on my laptop from 7 a.m. to like 5 o'clock at night, and that's not good. I cannot sit there that still for that long. Like when we were doing virtual in the spring, I would do work for 2 hours and then go off, and I can't do that. And I think that's going to be a big struggle.
Brendan?
I'll start with what I'm nervous for. So I joined marching band freshman year. This isn't actually about marching band, but there's a connection, I promise. I made great friends. They were juniors at the time, so they graduated class of 19. So they were gone my junior year. I struggled a bit because they were like my closest friends. Then I had other friends from marching band who I wasn't as close with that I grew closer with this year. They graduated. I have like 3 friends left that I talk to at school, and they're not in the same group as me anyway. So I'm worried because like band camp this year was a struggle for me too, for that same reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for, I'm taking a bunch of classes I really want to this year. Like, I'm taking ceramics, which isn't something I wanted, but I'm like, all right. But I'm taking like some music classes, like music theory, music production, band, which I'm really excited for because it's the band director at the high school is now the marching band director as well, and I love her, so I'm excited to have her fully at the high school for that.
All right. So I am most excited probably for class presentations, only for the reason that is they're going to be so much easier. I don't have to stand in front of an entire class and get so nervous that I start shaking because I only have to talk to my phone and there's not anybody else in the room with me. So I personally on a call feel much more comfortable talking. And I don't really even have to, as much as I love seeing my friends, I don't really have to look at everybody at once. I can't even see everybody at once. So I'm excited for that. And then what I'm nervous for is having to sit in kind of one place or just having to sit in general for that many hours. I need to get up, I need to move, and I need to be able to like do stuff without feeling awkward or being like, oh no, I'm off camera. Oh no, they can't see me or what, just anything really. And like Kate said, if the homework situation is the same, then I'm barely going to be able to focus in class and get the information there. And I'm going to have to focus for so many hours in a day sitting in the same exact place, looking at my phone. My phone's going to die really quickly. And I'm going to get really distracted and really left behind. I'm really not excited for that. So good checking, everybody.
I forgot that's another big worry for me as well, like the work and everything, because really struggled with that in the spring. Like I've already been struggling just in school to get work done sometimes because lack of motivation and stuff and other things. But being online made it even worse because it's, as I described it before, there was no like, I wasn't seeing any physical like reward of sorts because still can't think of a better word for getting my work done. It not that I need an award or a reward. It's just like I need some like feedback other than just like good, like just doing a paper and turning it in and being like, all right, you get credit. It's like, well, then what's the point of putting in any effort if it's like, I'm lucky that I had teachers who were patient and were willing to help me with things. But yeah.
And on the opposite side of that, during the school year, Shayla didn't have grades recorded for a while. We didn't, like, grades just didn't count. It was pass fail. So for me, it was
for online.
For the end of the school year. Yeah.
Montour did pass fail as well. So
yeah.
For me, it was, I didn't see any repercussions if I didn't turn in my work. I was like, it's late by like a day. They're not going to do anything. I got it in. It's bare minimum. If I didn't know something, I looked it up. I full on cheated because there was no repercussions. And I didn't feel good about that. I didn't feel good about the fact that I didn't understand it, so I looked it up for an answer because all my electronics and everything was right in front of me. And any test or anything or a quiz, I had all my notes in front of me. And it was just the fact that both there was little reward and also no repercussions.
I know the opposite kind of happened with me. So the thing for gym was if you didn't do your fitness log, like you had to like fill in a fitness logs, and I just saw them as dumb and I didn't do them, and it backfired because I got a 0% in gym, and then I had to do summer school, and that wasn't very fun for me because like I thought it was so like it was so easy to lie. I felt bad doing it. Like I was just gonna be like, oop, I walked around the block for like an hour. Like no, I didn't do that. But yeah, so I don't know. The opposite kind of happened for me. I got like repercussions for it, but I guess that was just like my own downfall. I don't know, but
it was all completion, like you said, and you had to just do 60% of the work. If you did 60%, the rest doesn't have to happen. And a lot of people exploited that system and figured it out, and they're like, yeah, I'm just not going to do a lot of this stuff because there's no reason to. And I think a lot of people going back to school, especially for classes like math, you're going to be struggling with that. And I think a lot of people are going to have to be playing catch up because of how I think everyone was kind of unmotivated. So a lot of people are going to struggle, and that's going to be weird.
I really enjoyed making this podcast with you all. Hopefully high school students will be able to continue it. And yeah, catch you on the flip side. By the flip side, I probably mean another Zoom call.
We'll see you, Ella. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, welcome back. Ella had to go because she is a college student. She had some classes. So from the rest of the podcast, she's just not going to be here. She did say her wishes, though, which was that we all do a funky little dance. So that's how this is starting.
Okay. I
All right.
don't remember her saying that.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it must have come out of the recording. No,
Okay.
she said that.
Okay.
Anyways. Yeah. So I want to talk for a bit because I got the chance to while we're on the subject of schools. I've mentioned before that I am worried about kids who do have autoimmune disorders and who get sick really easily, just don't have great immune systems. And also kids with intellectual disabilities, because online school could either be really hard for them. For some of them, it could be much easier than going to school regularly. But I imagine for online school, it can't be that. It can't be great for them. It's really disappointing because in schools, kids with disabilities, we don't usually see them during the day because they're all in different classrooms and they're all in different sections of the school and they don't share lunches with any of us. So I've never gotten to meet or interact with any of the kids who are in those classes. And during like primary school and like younger years, they were in some of my classes and I got to hang out with them and I got to talk to them. There was a lovely girl that I talked to and was friends with, and she had autism, and I don't know how she's doing right now. I don't get to talk to any of them. And for like certain reasons, it makes sense that they're not in our lunchroom. They're not in the cafeteria while everybody's having lunch because it's really loud. It's a really overwhelming environment. Even for like kids with anxiety, it could be a really overwhelming place. So for kids who have sensory issues, I'm sure that it's not a good place for them. So I've got some words from a neuroscientist about some basic things that people get wrong with mental health and substance abuse disorder, and I just wanted to mention them because we did get some good information here from a professional, and because we don't have our advisors on this call, I thought I would just throw in some of this, especially because we're going back to school, and there's some things you need to keep in mind because, you know, kids need to take care of themselves, especially if we don't have immediate access to guidance counselors or support systems that are one-on-one. So first thing is that mental illnesses are physical illnesses. They're actually a nerve injury so tiny that we can't even see it. So with the nerve injury, it's really hard to figure out the actual neuro differences, and it's easier to diagnose symptoms and prescribe responses to them. The next point is that willpower is vastly overrated. And your brain is kind of like a cat. You know how like cats, you tell it something and it just kind of does what it wants. You can't really train a cat necessarily. And, you know, it's kind of like driving through a flooded area. It's not really going to work. So willpowering your way through a mental illness, you can't necessarily do that. You need professional help usually. And you need to work on it. You need to work on mental health. It's really important, and I think it should be prioritized a lot. And you know, in terms of stress, it's not exactly the amount of stress that you're dealing with. It's more of how your body reacts to it, because you can be stressed for a long time and it be stuff that you've been dealing with for a while, and you can be used to it, not necessarily notice it, but eventually your body can't handle it. It's, as an example, a soldier seeing combat every day versus seeing a child getting injured. And the final point is that getting treatment doesn't make you weak, it makes you heal. Treatment is usually necessary. Again, you can't take care of yourself on your own in terms of mental illnesses. And it's kind of like giving yourself a pat on the back. You can't really reach. So neurotechnology is like a wheelchair if you're paralyzed. You need it, and no matter what the modality, you're trying and you can get better. There is always hope. That's a big thing at Stand Together, is that there's always hope for you. And there's always people who will support you and who will help you. There's help in your area, there's help in your schools. And speaking of which, at schools, there are a number of resources that you can find, and they will all be in our Instagram. We'll have links to places, and we'll have definitions for things, and they will all be on the Shaler Stand Together Instagram.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of Unless. Because our next episode is going to be about ADHD, and that is something that I am not informed about, nor am I affected by it. So thank you all for listening. Please tune in to hear more about ADHD in our next episode.
Ready, set, go!
Unless someone like you cares a whole
awful lot,
nothing's gonna get better.
It's
It's
not.